What's up, y'all? It's QDZ back with another video. Today we will be talking about an incident that I got into when I was in 8th grade, and that incident was when I got my throat cut. Before I do this video, I want y'all to know that if y'all haven't already followed me on Instagram, follow me at caramel_Q247. If you haven't seen my previous videos, the link is in my bio on my Instagram. So let's get into the video. One day, it was on a Tuesday. It was about March, April. I was very excited to get up and go to school that day. I got up, 6 in the morning. Took my morning shower before I put on a school uniform because at the time, we wore school uniform. And, went out to the bus stop. And at the time, the bus stop was at the front of the complex. There are 3 entrances to the neighborhood. There's a main entrance, there's a second entrance, and there's the last entrance. My bus stop was the second entrance. And the incident happened that day. I was in 8th grade. When I left school, ride on the bus, listening to music. I get off the bus. We finally arrived at school. I get off the bus, I go to breakfast, cafeteria. I had some little waffle. They were like little rectangular waffle dips with syrup, and they had like little sausages. I didn't eat it because I wasn't really hungry, but I did eat the sausage. After breakfast, we're on our way to, homeroom. At the time in 8th grade, I was playing football. So I'm leaving school, right? At the time, I did not ride the bus. I couldn't ride the bus home because I lived far. I had my friend Chris come pick me up from school. He dropped me off. Time passes, I take a nap, I do my homework. After that, I ate. I went to sleep. Mind you, I fell asleep with my school uniform on. Knocked the out. A couple hours pass by. I wake up. It was about 10 o'clock. I go to the bathroom. I come out of the bathroom. I hear a knock on the door. I don't know who it is. My neighborhood, my apartment, does not have a peek hole, which is normally in common household. So, we got a classic peek through the blinds or whatever, that type of I couldn't see. So my dumb ass decides to open the door. So when I open the door, this guy barges in. He's wearing all black, but he has on no mask. So that was the dumb right there. He was about 6'2", about 210 pounds. He was a Hispanic male. He kind of had like an average muscular build. He wasn't super duper muscular. He had enough definition. And he was about 6'2", 210, average muscular build. And when I got, mind you, he was barging in the door. He grabbed me and wrestled me to the floor. I'm trying to get up, trying to escape. I was grabbed by the neck after trying to get away. I had a gash across my neck. All I felt was the cold blade run across my neck and just blood just spilling out of my hole, puncture in my throat or whatever. I didn't really feel any pain though. After that, I fall instantly to the floor. I try to crawl, and the guy is roaming about through the house, and all he takes is an empty backpack. It wasn't empty, but it didn't have anything important in it. It had my school stuff in it. So he took my book bag with my stuff in it. What was the point of what was that? Like, come on, dude. You could do better. He took my book bag and left. And after he left, I'm crawling throughout the house. I'm trying to find a safe place to stay until my parents or my grandparents get back. Mind you, they're not home, so I'm home. So I crawl all the way to my mom's room, which is located next to my sister's room, in the bathroom on the left side of the apartment. And behind the door is the house phone. So I call my mom first, and the ambulance. Ambulance comes, and my mom and my grandma come back along with my siblings, my 3 siblings. And they're just jaw-dropping. My mom is breaking down in tears. She doesn't know what to do. I thought my mom was gonna run away and kill her damn self because she didn't know what the was going on. Neither did my siblings. They didn't know what the was going on. And my grandma didn't know what the was going on. And neither did I. All I know was I gotta find a way to survive. I get put in, the ambulance. They wrap my neck up with something. They picking up evidence. They recovered the knife. They seen the blood prints on the guy's boots. They found like footprints on the floor throughout the carpet. They swabbed the footprints. It was a traumatic experience. My mom and my grandma rode with me to the hospital. While they were riding with me to the hospital, I was going through a lot of pain. My mom was going through a lot of pain. I get to the hospital, they stitched me up. After being hospitalized, I was sent home after a couple days. I didn't like taking pills. It was very hard to swallow. They, gave my mom some papers. And as my mom was signing the papers, I flatlined once. And they said the reason I flatlined, I was in a panic. My heart rate got to a point where I lost so much blood that I had stopped breathing for a brief second. I didn't stop breathing long enough to kill me, but I did indeed stop breathing for about a brief 6/2 of a second. I flatlined and I woke back up. Second time I flatlined, they were actually checking my blood pressure. And I flatlined the second time while they had a stethoscope. They told me to take a deep breath, but because of the hole in my neck, I took a deep breath. It didn't go all the way through to my lungs, so it caused my heart to stop for about a half a second. Third time was probably the longest time that I flatlined. I flatlined legit for about 6 seconds. And my mom freaked out. The doctor had to literally restart the system. Since I was losing blood, they had to make sure my body was flowing enough blood to keep my heart beating. They found out that I was breathing normally again, and I was able to go home that day. So after I went home, I couldn't bathe for about a couple days. I had to let the stitches dry. The medication part was definitely the hardest part and the scariest part, because taking the pills are terrible, and it was very painful, extremely painful. I would cry my freaking eyes out every time I would have to swallow one of those big old antibiotics. Some months had passed, so I go back to school after the incident. I'm walking through the hallway. I remember locker break, maybe the third period. This one girl that had a very huge obsession with me came up to me. Mind you, I have a big bandage around my neck. It's like a wrap and a bandage over top of the wrap. She came up to me and asked, could you touch it after I got stitches? Like, why would you come up to me and ask me, could you touch it? Why would you want to touch that? You're just gonna bring me more pain. Like, it's gonna hurt. I'm walking around the hallways, everybody's looking at me like I'm crazy, and they're like, oh my God, what the freak happened? I couldn't turn my head, I couldn't lift my head up. I had to, okay, let me show you guys. Say someone calls my name. I couldn't just do this.
That shit hurting.
I couldn't do that.
I had to legit keep my head like this and turn my body. I was at home. The public defender issued us a court date to, be in an interrogation room and explain what happened and point out the suspect and give a description to the sketch artist. So that day we ended up going, talk to the public defender, and we went into the courtroom. They gave us some papers, we signed papers. Mind you, I had to sign the papers because I was the victim. My mom had to take me in there. I had to try to testify, but I couldn't speak. So my mom had to interpret for me. So after the courthouse, we were escorted by a police officer. We were taken downstairs to a lockup interrogation room. 7 people were in a line, and they told me to point them out. When I tell you that was the most freaking scariest moment of the incident, that was the scariest one, because I felt like I was a kid on the street snitching for someone taking my candy. I thought he was gonna get back at me and try to comfort my family. So I pointed him out. He looked at me a certain way. I got scared as It was terrifying. I was legit terrified. Mind you, I'm 14 years old. I had no idea what the hell going on. But we pointed him out. They ended up, he ended up having a warrant in the city of Carrollton for a domestic dispute and a battery charge. So he already had a warrant out for his arrest. He was on bond. He was out on bond. After they ended up catching him, they ran his name. They traced back the evidence that was brought to the interrogation room in the courtroom. It was analyzed by a forensic scientist, and turns out the blood on the knife was mine, and the blood on the carpet was mine, and the blood stains on his shoes were mine. So it all traced back to this guy sitting in front of this camera. It was mine. We had a detective come to the house and take pictures of the blood stains, the catastrophe that was left over in the house. Luckily, there was nothing really taken but a backpack with my school supplies. It was good to get him off the street. You know, he was definitely a, you know, danger to, you know, that area and, you know, those people that are, you know, having loved ones and, you know, in that community. That at that time it definitely wasn't a child-friendly community at the moment. God said, this is a good kid, it wasn't his time to go, you know, give him some time. He's got a lot to live for. That was all for this video. Always be grateful for what God has given you, because there are a lot of people out here that don't have a lot of things. There are a lot of people that, you know, want things that can't get those things. The only thing you should be focused on is goals, not obstacles. So just keep your head up through, you know, all that, and stay positive, be grateful. God has given everybody a life to live, and, you know, make sure that you take every opportunity that he gives you and just keep moving forward. Well, that's all for this video, guys. If you guys want to see more videos, follow me on Instagram first off and foremost at caramel_Q247, and, you know, check out the link. My YouTube link is in the bio on my Instagram. And again, this is QDZ and I'm out. Peace.